Hi, everyone, and thanks for joining today's webinar presentation, your new value proposition post the conflict of interest rules. Before we get started, just a couple of quick housekeeping notes. All attendees have been muted on entry. And if you have any questions throughout today's presentation, top right-hand corner of your screen, there is a chat feature. Please type in your questions, and then at the end of the webinar, we'll open up the chat feature to answer any questions that you may have. And then last but not least, today's presentation is being recorded, so if you'd like a copy afterwards, please send us a quick email, and we will share that with you. So with that, let's get started. Your value proposition with the post-conflict of interest regulation. The world has changed. And today we're going to talk about how you can connect with your prospect community, own your backyard, and how and what you can do to implement a consistent marketing program. So before we actually dive into all the wonderful things that we're going to share with you today, whenever you're creating a value proposition, what is a value prop? It's who you are. It's your mantra. It's the natural language that you use that describes the passion in your voice and why you love our business. So I'd like to begin with just a couple of fun, inspirational quotes, because when you're coming up with something that's unique, it can be uncomfortable. So, and I'm just going to read two of them. But be who you are and say what you feel, because those who mind don't matter, and those who matter don't mind. Wonderful eternal wisdom from Dr. Seuss. Be yourself, because everyone else is taken. And this is actually one of my favorite ones, is you're being judged no matter what, so simply be who you want to be. And then we have some other ones on the screen today. So hopefully one of these will speak to you and also awaken your value proposition inside. All right, again, in terms of our agenda, we're going to help you connect with your prospect community, talk about building that value prop, especially in today's changed regulatory environment, and then how you can implement a consistent marketing program. And everyone who's on the call today, we're going to give you a deliverable as a walk-away piece, so that way you can actually start to build your internal marketing program. A couple of statistics. The retirement states in America has saved $4.4 trillion in retirement plan assets, specifically in the 401k vehicles, ERISA-based vehicles. We as a society have actually saved $24 trillion overall in all of our retirement vehicles, IRAs, 401ks, SEPs, Simples, etc. But specifically in the 401k space, $4.4 trillion. There are over 600,000 retirement plan opportunities based on Form 5500 data. Yet, and this is kind of an interesting stat, only 18,000 financial advisors genuinely focus, have experience and expertise in the retirement plan area. Not that many. That's actually not a lot of people. So when you're thinking about who you are and the value that you provide, well, with this new fiduciary rule, for the most part, we're all going to be fiduciary at the end of the day. Yet only a very tiny percentage, 6% or 18,000 advisors, understand at their core, based on their training and their education, what that means and how to effectively service them sponsors. So we're going to come back and we're going to focus a lot on how you can lift your brand name based on your quality of advice, experience, and the services that you can provide. As we all know, being a fiduciary is now the new normal. In the marketing world, we used to have this silver bullet where we would say, I'm a fiduciary advisor. I can provide advice. This is different. I can actually sit down with a plan sponsor and tell them exactly which investments that they should be utilizing and engage them in a 321 co-fiduciary fashion or a 338 investment manager fashion. Boy, but now that wonderful word, that true differentiator, is for the most part gone, which levels the playing field and makes it confusing to plan sponsors to say, wait, you're all fiduciaries, so what's the difference? Tell me about that. And more, it's the need for a clear value proposition. In a recent study, investors met with a series of financial advisors. And as these investors were exiting the contained environment, they were asked to write down, tell me the difference between the advisors that you just met with. So investors were asked to sit down with a series of advisors and then describe the differences between those advisors. 6 out of 10 plans of those investors shrugged their shoulders and said, they all sound the same. Oh boy, that's not good. That's not good at all. Which is why, again, we need to make sure that your value proposition is part of that 4 out of 10 of the financial advisors where they go, that person, I want to work with that person because they're different and they're exciting and they can offer something that I understand and I want to work with them. All right, so let's dive into our first of the agenda items, connecting with your prospect community. We have a saying here at 401k Marketing called own your backyard. Many times we've worked with advisors who have contacted us and they say, you know, yes, I'm based out of Chicago, but, you know, I was vacationing recently in Nashville, Tennessee, and I just love that town. It's a really cool town, and I'd like to start prospecting there. And we kind of go, well, you know, tell us about Chicago. Why are you leaning towards Nashville? And there is an aspect of retirement plan servicing that is a local aspect. So we like to say, hey, let's first and foremost own your backyard, figure out who your ideal target market is, and then let's make sure that you have a concentration where you own the majority of those client relationships. And then the next step in owning your backyard is figuring out who are your ideal prospects. So the second thing that we usually share is to take your average retirement plan client, your statistical average, and then take your largest retirement plan client. And this right here we define as your ideal prospect community. So 2 things, own your backyard and focus on your ideal target market. Then once you have those 2 pieces of very important data and your lead list, so who are the types you're going to be marketing towards, let's qualify them. Earlier we talked about motivational quotes. And one of the things that in today's day and age is authenticity. So think of the companies and the types of organizations that you stand behind, that you like, the people that you enjoy working with, and then focus on those. So I'll ask you a quick question. Is it better to have a list of 1,000 non-connected strangers, or is it better to have a concentrated list of 40 prospects that you know you can drip on, you know you can prospect for them, and when you finally get an opportunity to talk to these 40 folks, you enjoy their business. So it's a fun conversation, and that excitement will come across in your voice. They'll hear it, and that'll bring you one step closer to creating a new relationship. Also keep in mind, as long as they're in your target market and in your sweet spot, those should be easy plans for you to pick up. This is something that we will do on a complimentary basis, but if you have questions or need help with finding who your ideal target market is and qualifying those plan sponsors, send us a quick email and we'll help you to identify and create a quick lead list. So there's our contact information on the screen right there. Okay, so now let's jump back to your value proposition. And why is it so important to tell your story so that way over time you can sit down with your clients, your prospects, and trusted industry peers so that way you can share, again, your quality of advice, your experience, and your unique value proposition. A lot of times when people are trying to think of their value prop, they'll use words that are buzzwords in our industry: engaging, motivating, improving, enhancing, just typical words, reaching. Well, marketing should be an extension of who you are. It should be your natural language that you use. So look at these questions. Look at the question on the screen today. Why do you like working with retirement plans? And every one of us has a different answer. And the easiest way to think about it is when you get a brand new client, and you're meeting with this client, and they say, yes, we'd like you to be our retirement plan advisor. Fantastic. You roll up your sleeves and you go, this is the type of information that I need in order to professionally do my job. And they share that information back with you. Well, there's certain pieces of information that you're going to be like, ooh, I can't wait to do that. Is it plan governance? Is it organizing a fiduciary file? Is it sitting down with employees and providing education? Is it talking with a TPA to do with plan design enhancements, whether it's auto enroll or auto escalation? Is it talking about investments? What is it that you go, oh, yes, that's what I love? And guess what? When you say that in your own words, in your own language, that is your value proposition. And on the screen in front of you, you can see some examples of different action items that advisors love to do with their clients that makes them feel rewarded. And that rewarding feeling, again, comes across your face when you're talking to fund sponsors and you go, I cannot wait to help you reduce your business risk, organize your fiduciary files, so at the end of the day we can help smiling retirees actually hit their retirement goals. So think about it, take some time, grab a yellow piece of paper or a whiteboard and just ask yourself, why do I like working with plans? Here's a couple of examples. Operating a compliant committee, promoting financial wellness, increasing participant outcomes, and implementing appropriate plan design. And you could have all of these. You could have a portion of these. You could rank them from 1 through 4. And these are just quick examples that we came up with. But if you do have questions on trying to uncover your true essence of your service and value proposition, feel free to give us a call. We can talk to you on the strategic side of it. All right, are you ready for this? Once you create or have a framework for your value proposition, and this is really uncomfortable, grab your cell phone, flip it around, and video selfie you talking to yourself what you would say. Very uncomfortable. However, it's better to see yourself, your facial expressions, when your eyes light up, when your eyes go down or sideways, or your eyebrows furrow, or your hands go crazy. I always talk with my hands. So whatever you're doing from a body language perspective, take a peek at it, look at it. And then you can also uncover, is this good? Is this how I want plan sponsors, clients, prospects, and trusted industry peers to see me? Is there something I might be able to adjust or to modify? Very uncomfortable. However, it's better that you do it in the safety and sanctity of your office than out in that big plan sponsor meeting that you've been working towards for the last couple of years. So now we're going to jump forward in the last 10 minutes of today's call, and we really try and keep these webinars under 30 minutes. We want them to be quick sound bites, just some action items that you can implement within your practice today. So we talked about identifying your ideal prospect community and how to create a value proposition. And this is a big picture conversation on a value proposition. And then the next step is implementing a consistent marketing program. There's so much change going on right now in our environment that change is a beautiful door opener for opportunity. So by having marketing in an organized fashion, investing in quality content, you can separate yourself from the competition pretty easily. The average advisor today spends 1.8% of their gross revenue on marketing. 1.8%. Not a lot. When a recent study said that if an advisor increases their marketing spend to 2.4% of their revenue on marketing, they'll actually see a 40% increase in client growth and a 20% increase in firm revenue. But one of the things that people often ask us is, does marketing work? I don't think those numbers lie. 20% increase in revenue for not even a full percentage point spend or investment in your marketing. Also, another quick stat, the Small Business Association of America recommends that businesses spend 8% of their revenue on marketing. So we in financial services are actually way on the other side of that, percentage. So keep that in mind as you're thinking about how and what you're investing within your marketing. And also keep in mind that if the average advisor is spending 1.8% of their rev on marketing, and if you're investing, 3% of your revenue on marketing, you're almost doubling their marketing efforts. So your voice is going to automatically carry farther and wider and faster than all of the local advisors in your community. Okay, next step, marketing. It is a team sport. It's really important whenever you start any type of marketing campaign that you get your entire staff involved and excited around it. So again, as everyone who is part of this call today, first, thank you so much for joining us. And second, you're going to receive a complimentary copy of your 90-day marketing calendar. And we designed this in a fashion that you could print it off and then have a roundtable meeting with your team, do like bagels and coffee one day, and then talk about, hey guys, what is our current marketing strategy? Where are we trying to grow our business in the next 1, 3, and 5 years? Do we feel marketing is an investment or an expense within our business? And then probably the most important question is, what is a reasonable amount of time we can spend on marketing? And that question of time is so critical because you can either create everything in-house or you can outsource everything, or a combination of the two. So we always like to bring up that critical aspect of time, because if you have the time, then your office can run with it. And if you don't have the time, there are professional services out there, like 401k marketing, that can support you, or if it's a combination of the two, there's also professional resources available. So let's start with a couple of quick marketing tips. Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn. First of all, social media is here to stay. There's no question about it. It's been over 10 years. LinkedIn was launched in 2003, and Facebook was launched in 2004. So both of those companies are over 10 years old with billions of people as part of their social network. Keep that in mind as you're thinking about your social media strategy, if you have a social media strategy and what it looks like. One of the easiest ways to reach inside your organic network to find prospects, key decision makers, and it's also one of the great prospecting tools to get introduced to new people through existing relationships. Let's talk about that. On LinkedIn, you have the ability to view plan sponsors, plan administrators, business owners, other key stakeholders within companies, and uncover if you are connected to them. Okay, so what do I mean? So let's say you type in the name of the business owner on LinkedIn, and let's say their name is Melissa Calkin. And you happen to notice this 2 in the top right-hand corner. Well, what this means is that you have a person or people in common with this business. So the next step is to click on this down arrow right here, which pulls up this box, and it says Get Introduced. Well, when you click on Get Introduced, it's going to bring up another window. And in this following window, it's going to share with you all of the connections that you have in common. So in the real world, Melissa owns a company, and that company has a 401k plan who's in my backyard and my ideal target market. I understand my value proposition and why I love working with plans. Well, my good friend Tom, he's connected to Melissa. So I could send Tom a message via LinkedIn, a text message, an email, and say, hey, Tom, I was just on LinkedIn. I noticed that you're connected to Melissa Calkin. Would you mind introducing me? Depending on your relationship with Tom, the majority of the time he'll go, yeah, sure, no problem. Absolutely. What's this about? You share your value proposition. He goes, oh, yeah. And then you connect with a professional introduction. Last year, 51% of new retirement plan business came from 2 sources. 26% came from centers of influence introductions, like Tom introducing you to Melissa, and 25% came from client referrals. So by utilizing LinkedIn and a search strategy, you can very easily help to facilitate a shortcut into the introduction process. Next on our list is marketing. And by the way, this follows along with the 90-day marketing calendar to help you flesh out what is your marketing strategy. So as you're going through this with your team and you're talking about what is our time, what is the content that we have available, and how are we going to be marketing effectively, all of the pieces that I'm sharing with you today dovetail exactly with that calendar. So there's mail, email, and cold calling. In today's day and age, our mailboxes are empty. That is prime marketing for real estate. Our inboxes are filled, yet it is a very efficient way to get a mass marketing campaign out there to all of your interested prospects. And cold calling. Well, I don't know about you, but I am not a fan of voicemails, and many people feel that same way. So keep that in mind when you're considering cold calling. Last year, excuse me, 4% of new business activity came from cold calling. So think about that as you're trying to figure out what is my outbound direct sales marketing strategy. Next on our list is relationship marketing, and I shared that 26% of new client introductions should come from centers of influence. So ask yourself, who are the folks in our community today who are influential? Call them up. Ask them for a cup of coffee. Chances are, if these people are connectors, they'll be very receptive and open. Demonstrate your value, share your value prop of why you work in this environment and why you're passionate about it. Over time, that'll turn into professional business owner introductions. Client referrals at 25% of your new marketing growth. And then, I love this one, brand ambassadors. So you in your book of business, because you do an amazing job for your clients, probably have 2 or 3 or possibly more clients who are over the moon for you. They want to shout from the mountaintops how much amazing service and value you have provided to them specifically. So whether it was a plan that you walked in and they did not have a clue what a fiduciary file was, or meeting minutes, or a charter, or an IPS, or they scratched their heads and did 404C compliance, well, they want to talk about that because they really appreciate everything that you've done. The reason I bring this up is when you're sitting down with a new prospect, we in financial services cannot use testimonials on our website. However, we can as long as your clients are comfortable with it or your brand ambassadors are comfortable, you can share their contact information and say, absolutely, plan sponsor prospect, you know, why don't I share with you 2 of our existing clients, and then you can contact them and learn directly from them what it's like to work with us and how we've helped and enhanced their current retirement plan offering. Give your brand ambassadors the spotlight because they will promote you and they will be excited and they're going to share that story. They're going to get your prospects fired up to work with you, and it just creates this really lovely circle where it's a healthy circle of people are talking about all the good things that you've done in the entire. And I want to be conscious of our time because I want to make sure we have some Q&A at the end. I think there's 3 other things left. So digital marketing, video marketing. If anyone has any questions on this, we can talk about it. We create videos for a lot of our clients. Retargeting or digital ad bans, and then email automation. All another new way of getting in front of in a value add capacity to your plan sponsor process. Public outreach, press releases, media pitches, and case studies. If you want to demonstrate your value, write a case study. So there has absolutely been 1 to 10 plans that you've walked in that were, you know, kind of a disaster, but then you've changed the participation rate from a terrible 10% to auto enrollment at 97%, and you've helped them with a QDIA, and you've really assisted the entire plan and the employees to get on track to retirement success. We're often asked, what are the top retirement plan advisors in our country doing today? And what they're doing is actually called original authorship. So they're writing blogs, infographics, and hosting podcasts. It's a new way of getting your name out there. Blogs are original content, so that way you can increase your search engine optimization. Infographics are quick, digestible materials that educate plan sponsors, educate and entertain, or as our summer interns call it, edutainment. So they edutainment with new plan sponsors. Very interesting infographics. We love them here. But it's a great way to demonstrate quick value and solve the need of the curious plan sponsor. And then podcast, another fun way to get in front of people from a voice of leadership and authority. So I'll leave you with just a couple of things. Again, everyone who's attended today, you will be receiving a complimentary 90-day marketing calendar, and it's going to walk through all of the different items that we just talked about, so that way you can get on the way to marketing success. All right, so what did we do today? We helped to define your prospect community and to qualify the companies that you want and enjoy to work with. Then we talked about how you create a value proposition. And really at the core of a value proposition is why you love what you do. And say it in your own authentic voice. And another tip when thinking about your value prop is try and explain what you do to someone who's not in our business. So leave the jargon at home, the complex words, and just explain it to someone quickly and effectively who is not in our space, and they go, yeah, I get that. Okay. And that's how you know you really hit the nail on the head. And then we chatted about creating a 90-day marketing program because the average advisor, guess what? They're not marketing. So if you implement a consistent program, you will leapfrog over the competition and gather lots and lots of new plan business. I'm going to leave you with one last thought. In order to stand out, you have to be different. Because of the new conflict of interest rule, for the most part, we're all going to be fiduciaries. So by using your creativity and your authentic voice to stand out, you will effectively be different and also capture new retirement plan business activities. So with that, thank you so much, everyone, for joining today's webinar presentation. We host these every month, a different series, a lot of times with guest speakers. If you would like to see some of them, they are recorded on our website in our webinars section. All right, so my name is Rebecca Auerhan. I am the founder of 401k Marketing. I've been in this lovely industry for over 10 years now, in a myriad of different roles, from the broker-dealer side to the service provider side and the advisory side and in the investment world across my history. So, and we have a team here in San Diego who are just amazing, experienced retirement plan professionals. We help to write original blog posts within our industry. We do ongoing marketing as well as professionalizing the foundation material for our clients through brochures, service calendars, institutional pitch decks, RFP writing, case studies. Think of it as the content that you would hand to a plan sponsor to work in true partnership with our clients to write it, design it, and compliance approval. So with that, I'm going to hit pause on our recording. So if anyone, again, would like a copy of this, by all means, please contact me and we'll share it with you directly. And with that, I'm going to open the phone lines for any questions today. So thank you again, everyone, for joining.